Hi folks, my name's Brian and I'm here to do a review of the new Snark HZ-1 tuner. Snark tuners have been around for the past 6 or 7 years and they really become very popular for a number of reasons. One is they are inexpensive. Before, the tuners that you could put on your headstock that used vibrations usually cost at least $25 to $40 to get one. And the price point on many of these Snark tuners is now $10 to $12. So for less than $15, you can replace some of the more expensive models. And they've kind of done some tweaks over the past few years and came out with lots of different models, the SN1, the SN2, the SN8, the SN5. And now they've added the capability of using Hertz in addition to the little light up system that it's known for. So I want to first of all review and compare both the pros and the cons, and side by side the new one, HZ-1, is smaller. I'd probably say it's got a good 25% reduction in size all over. So the face is smaller, the clamps that go on your headstock are a little bit different. On this one is, I think it's a SN2 maybe. Anyway, the traditional ones, it's got the grippy rubber coating, and this one actually comes off, which is not supposed to. So I think they've tried to tweak the footprint and how all of the ergonomics work. And on the new HZ-1, it's different material. It's a lot less rubber and it's a little bit of a easier clamp on it. Now the only drawback I could see to that is it's a little slicker, so it might have a tendency to come off of your headstock a little bit easier. One of the main drawbacks to the original Snark tuners is that it ate a lot of batteries. So I had to always have some in my case there to replace the 2032 batteries, I think they are. And the other thing is it's hard to see in certain situations. If you didn't have a new battery, it was hard to catch sometimes what this thing was saying because it wasn't very bright. Okay, so a few years after that, they come up with the SN8, the super tight one, I think it was called. It had a yellow button on it, and it was a lot brighter. So now that seems to be everything Snark's using is the HD, they call it, but it's really just a brighter screen. And that's what this one has, the new HZ-1. So it's a lot brighter, as you'll see in action in just a second. The only thing I don't like is when they switch to the brighter screen, they actually lost precision. I'll try to show you what I mean when I put both of them on a headstock here and we can compare. But this one's only got 5 lights on each side to get to the plus or minus 50, whereas this one it has a lot more. Let me see how many it's got there. 3, 4. It's got like 16 lights to get to the plus or minus 50. So I think it still has the same level of accuracy, but the precision is definitely a lot less in the newer versions. All right, so I want to talk about the Hertz. There's a Hertz button on the back of it. You turn the Hertz on, and then you'll see on the screen here, you got a bunch of zeros. So I normally play banjo and thought, okay, well maybe this would be a little bit better alternative than the Strobo. I've got a Peterson Strobo clip tuner, and it's got the little lights that flash all over the place, so it's a little bit aggravating to use, especially if you need to be in a hurry. So I thought maybe the Hertz and having just the number pop up on the screen would be a little bit better, but it has its drawbacks, as you will see coming up. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back with my guitar, and I've got both of my Snark tuners on the headstock there, so you can see that the new HZ-1 is a little bit brighter. But if you'll notice, look at the level of precision here on the original Snark. Okay, you see all those different little levels of lights. The new one only has like 5 lights on each side. So if I hit this A note here, they're both ringing true. If I hit the E, the HZ-1 says it's in tune. The original Snark says it's a little bit sharp. So you're definitely getting a little bit better level of precision with the original. And I think they might be coming out with a model with the brighter screen that has that level of precision, which would be what I would want definitely. Okay, so there you go. You can see a quick comparison. Now let's talk about the Hertz. I'm going to hit the Hertz button on the back and you'll see all the zeros pop up there. The issue with this is there's a preset way you have to do this, and it will really only work for what they say is a 6-string guitar or a bass, and you have to go in a different direction for each one. It says on a 6-string guitar you've got to start with your low E. Okay, and if you'll notice, my Hertz is already turned off. If it doesn't register within like 10 seconds, it goes off automatically, which it shouldn't do. It should just be you turn the Hertz button on and you'll see whatever note you want to hit, you should be able to see the Hertz. But that doesn't happen. So let me see if I can't run through this quickly. They give you a little sheet that's got the notes on it for what frequency you're looking for. So you got to hit the E first, and there it is. It's 82.4. And that's what it said it's supposed to be. I kind of tuned it earlier. And then you can't go D. So I kind of hit the D string or the B string. It's not registering. You've got to go the A string next. And it's supposed to be at 110. Okay, and it does a pretty good job. It doesn't jump around a lot. You'll see any tuner that's got a lot of precision to it, whether it's the strobe tuners or anything else. There's a little bit of, it's going to jump around a little bit. This one isn't bad, especially if I'm not talking. So 110, D string's supposed to be 146.8. I'm a little sharp on that one. Okay, then you've got to go to the G string next. It's supposed to be at 196.0. And it's not registering. I guess it's already jumped onto the B string next. Okay, and in order to do it all over again, you've got to start back at the low E string. So really inconvenient. This would not be something that you would want to do on stage in the middle of a set between songs. I can see using it, the capabilities there before you start your set, get everything in tune, and then you just have to use the light features like you would on other Snark tuners that came out before the HZ-1. Okay, so it works on guitar. On a bass, it goes the opposite direction. Okay, it says you've got to do your first G string, your high G, and then you go to the D, and then the A, E, and then if it's a 5th string, a B. And you'll see that up on your screen there. I put the little snapshot. Interesting thing, it says if it's a 5th string B, use a 30.95. Well, this thing won't register 30.95. It'll go 30.9 or 31.0. So that was kind of funny. But let me show you something else. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back with my mandolin. And for those of you who aren't aware, a mandolin actually has the same 4 strings as a 4-string bass, the same notes, except they go in reverse order. Instead of G being the highest, G's the lowest on a mandolin. Okay, so if I'm going to try this Hertz button. So when I try the Hertz button, if we're trying to do it like a bass, you should try to hit your G string first. So I'm going to hit my G and see if I can get it to register. Not registering. There it goes. Sometimes you kind of have to play with it or do the harmonic or play a G chord to get the G to register. So it's registering. It says it's at 97, 98. It's supposed to be at 98.0, which is right. The problem is this actually isn't the same G note, right? It's in a whole different octave than what a bass would be at. So I'm going up as far as my D that's higher than the G, and the Hertz says it's even lower. It's supposed to register at 73.4. So I'm not exactly sure how this thing is doing, how it actually works. Now it's saying it's A way down at 55.1, which would be your low A string on your 4-string bass. And then there is, if I can get the word, there's the E, way down at 41.1, which obviously isn't the same frequency as what I'm actually playing. So that's kind of interesting. So it's kind of a preset way this thing is recognizing Hertz, and you either have to go like you're tuning a 6-string guitar or like a 4-string bass. So I'm gonna come back with one more thing here. All right, back with my favorite instrument, the banjo. And let me put up on the screen here for you the notes. that, you know, the way they tell you to go about doing this on the directions. Well, if you look at the notes for the 6-string guitar, it actually has all the same notes as a 5-string banjo. 5-string banjo only has, it's got 2 Ds, 2 Gs, and a B. And that's all it's got. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I can make this thing work. But you got to do it in the right order, and what's the first thing I've got to hit is a E. So I'm thinking maybe I can hack this thing and just hit an E note, just fret one and hit it. So let's see if it works. I want to hit the Hertz button and hit an E. No, flashing. No. There's a different E. Oh, it cut off on me. Maybe I'll try strumming an E chord. All right, there we go. I got it to work. So now E. Oh, A comes next, which I don't need, but I do need a D. So now I can tune my D. Both Ds at the same time you can actually do. If you wanted to use harmonics to try to do bridge placement, which is really important on banjos because they slide around on you. And then the next thing is a G. So I've got a G here for my 3rd string and the 5th string. I could tune that. And then the next one would be your B. So you can make the Hertz work, but you've got to be real creative to make that work. So you definitely see some drawbacks to what I thought I was getting on this Hertz tuner. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware, and I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.